Mr. Ali Yunus. Ali, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Right, a bit disappointed with Karachi?
Yes, a bit too much because they cannot blame anyone but themselves. They were in a good position early on, but they just wasted that opportunity.
But Peshawar's been absolutely super. I think after they lost Kamran Akmal, I thought things are going to look shaky, but the way they batted was absolutely brilliant. They managed to pile on some good runs.
Yes, so the credit must go to Imamul Haq and Lim Dawson, the way they batted. I think a little bit I was disappointed by the captaincy of Imad Wasim, the review that should have been taken.
Yeah.
That would have been just kill the match. That there and then the match would have been finished at Imam got out at that time. But yeah, it was pretty disappointing from Karachi. Yeah.
And you didn't expect Karachi to let things go because they've got a fine bowling attack in the likes of Amir and obviously other bowlers as well. And Imad himself, I thought this was a good enough bowling. After they got some quick wickets, they could have restricted Peshawar to 130 something.
Yes, but they played very well. Imam played very good inning because he kept in. He was in the ground. He didn't throw it away. He was there and he played it till end.
He silenced his critics in the past series as well. Sharjah or the UAE seems to be his favourite hunting ground.
Yes, the more he plays, the more he scores runs, the confidence is going to come, and that's good that he's got a 15 PSL too.
And if we talk about Peshawar's bowling, I know we were mentioning this yesterday as well. Umair is there, of course. They've got the likes of Hassan Ali. Darren Sammy himself is there. Karan Pollard was bowling, and these guys have Wahab Riaz. They've managed to put on something absolutely amazing, and Dawson in the likes of the spinner as well. Of course, Ibtisam Sheikh also accompanying him. They've got this perfect blend that is actually taking them towards, I think, another PSL knockout round.
I won't be surprised if I say, but the good thing about their bowling is that they hit the stumps. They ball wicket to wicket and they're quick. Everyone, look at Wahab, look at Hassan Ali and the other one. They just try to ball straight into the wickets, and that's the key on Sharjah wicket. That you ball straight up to the wickets. It's not easy to hit across the wicket. So you have to ball straight. That's what they're doing.
And it's a funny thing, this Sharjah wicket, because even as a fast bowler, you need to keep all those varieties in your arsenal, because obviously this is a wicket, like you mentioned yesterday as well, it's going to skid on, and that's why you actually need to be smart in bowling.
Yeah, of course, T20 is that game. You have to be smart to survive in T20 cricket. You need to have those variations with you, to the back of the hand balls, the slower ones. You need to have all those sort of deliveries in T20 cricket to survive.
And right, we talked about making this interactive, and we're going to do that by taking your live calls and your live questions as well on this very special transmission, and our live numbers are there on your screens at the bottom right now as well, so you can make your calls, and obviously you can bring in your questions to me and of course Ali as well. We've been talking about this, making it interactive, getting your perspective in. It's time now for you guys to be the real analysts of the game as well, and tell us about your favorite team and tell us about your favorite player in this PSL as well, and the fact that how do you see this match going as well. 150 for the likes of Sharjah is, I think, a good total probably.
It's very dicey, but then again, I would say when you see the start of Peshawar Zalmi's bowling, they were all over Karachi Kings. They were not giving any room. They were bowling quick, and I'm glad they started off with Hassan Ali and Wahab Riaz, both their prime bowlers from both ends. So that was the key. I think they were all running all over them, keeping them under pressure, and I think that got to Karachi Kings.
And I think that's the secret of Darren Sammy's captaincy as well, because even when he was with the West Indies, he's always been a guy that's just lifted the team and lifted their spirits, and I think this is what the plan was tonight as well.
Yeah, if you see in PSL even, he's not 100% fit. He's got, I think he's got a nickel in hamstring also. He's not running, but he's leading from the front. He's just there. He just puts so much energy into all of the boys that he keeps on talking, keeps on chipping away, and boosting up every bowler. So I think that's the key of Darren Sammy.
I think after the Quetta Multan game, teams are figuring that chasing might be the thing. Karachi got it wrong, obviously, but Imad did win the toss and he looked comfortable bowling first.
I think he was more concerned about the dew. That the second time is going to get heavy and the ball will come nicely to the bat. But for that to happen, you got to stay into the wicket. I think they were a little in a hurry start when Karachi started batting. The run out of Babar Azam was a blunder. He shouldn't have run because the ball was not that far. There was no single there. So once Babar Azam gets out, the batting is finished almost for Karachi Kings, as we mentioned earlier, that they play around Babar Azam. Once he gets out,
plus Rizwan is not a prospect when you see him there, and then the run rate is above 10 runs and over. So there is something to be concerned about.
Yeah, and they don't have late middle order facilities like Sammy is for Peshawar Azalmi that who can come up and hit quick boundaries. So they don't have that firepower in the late middle order. So the things are difficult once Babar Azam gets out.
Yeah, and we're gonna if we see the match live right now as well, we know that Karachi are still struggling. The run rate is way above 10 runs per over, and they've got to do a miracle to pull this back as well. We just saw Rizwan trying to hit a boundary as well. Maybe he was successful, but then again, like we mentioned, this is a crucial point for Karachi, and you know, some teams have to think about not revolving around a player. Last night we talked about Shoaib Malik being the only key in Multan's batting lineup, and now it's about Babar Azam in Karachi all over again. So this is very important. If we talk about Peshawar's opening, I think it's bound that one of these Akmal brothers is going to fire in PSL.
Yes, unfortunately, Kamran couldn't do it today. He has the potential to do it, but he couldn't just do it. But they're very talented, both of them. In fact, three of them. Even Adnan Akmal is very talented as a wicketkeeper, and they like to be in the action. They like to perform, and they've got this ego too, so that they have to perform for themselves.
If I look at the roster for Peshawar, I think their team analyst or whoever was supporting the staff and finding these players, I think they got it spot on, because their combination seems to be perfect, especially for a guy like Liam Dawson, who's an absolutely amazing left-arm spin bowler, and at the same time he can bat really well.
Yes, he's a great prospect. Even in the last year's PSL, he was very good with Peshawar Zalmi. But I still believe that they should have one more proper spinner in their lineup to find. If the Sam is there, he's bowling very well. And Dawson can bowl too. But on such wickets, and when the cricket moves to Abu Dhabi, they will need to have one more spinner. And I don't see a good quality spinner on the bench with them.
But the fact is, they're still managing to pull it off with Wahab, Hassan Ali, and Umaid as well. I think Umaid has been the prime product for PSL in the past seasons. We see him develop into a very good bowler. Not that stardom there, but then again, he's like you mentioned, wicket to wicket.
Wicket to wicket. He's tall. He bowls wicket to wicket, and he's quick also. And it gets very difficult when that tall of a bowler bowls that quick. It gets difficult for the batsman to hit the ball.
Right, we've got our first live caller on the show. We've been joined by Ali Yafiz from Lahore. Ali, assalamu alaikum. How are you this evening? Ali, can you hear me?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. So, Ali, tell us about your team tonight. Was it Karachi or was it Peshawar?
Well, my team was Peshawar.
Right. So, what do you think about the match so far? And what question would you like to ask me or Ali Yunus in studios?
So, the match has been very interesting, obviously. So, my question to you is that why is it that the batsmen today are having difficulty facing fast bowlers, especially in the second innings? Why is that? The dew, I don't think there's too much dew today, so I'm really surprised that the batsmen aren't able to play fast bowlers that well.
Right, okay, thank you so much, Ali Hafiz, calling from Lahore. We're going to pitch that question to the expert who's been there in charge as well. Right, why is the fast bowling being tough on the batsmen? Is it just the Karachi batsmen, or is it something?
It's just simple that they're good bowlers. I mean, you got to give the credit to the Hassan Ali and Wahab Riaz. They bowl quick, they bowl fast, they bowl wicket to wicket. And had Karachi just given themselves a little 3 to 4 overs, they should have let these overs go, and maybe then they start to taking runs.
It's about rhythm in T20 cricket. We always talk about that. Only 4 overs obviously isn't enough for any bowler to get settled. So if you can get your tail up and bowl since the very first delivery, spot on, and that gives you a mental boost. And I think Hassan Ali and Wahab Riaz are these candidates who just like to be on spot from the very first delivery.
Yes, and they back their quality, they back their pace. They don't try, especially Wahab. He never tries to bowl slow. He comes up and gives his 100%, balls quick, and that's why he's successful in T20 cricket.
Do you think he'll have that World Cup slot in mind? We've been talking about this.
I certainly believe that he should be there. I don't know if he will be, but it's my personal view that he should be there.
But something definitely goes wrong in between as well. We have to talk about that. We saw him getting smacked for almost 100 runs.
Well, that's going to happen. When somebody is bowling that quick, that's going to bound to happen, that he'll have bad days. But then again, he will have those spells, those match-winning spells, that will eventually win matches with a couple of overs.
Right, and obviously this is something for Karachi to consider now. I think Ali put it beautifully that Babar Azam is not the key, just the key anymore. Some people do want Imad to bat up the order as well, and I know in the region he's been doing that, and he's capable of doing that.
Well, I think today the combination was not bad. Karachi made few changes, and I think they brought in Amir Jameen, which was a very good decision. You can swing the ball with the new ball, and can bat a bit. But then again, they need to have that stable middle order batting. They need to have, I think, they should put in Iftikhar. They should get him in inside. They did try it with Bang Dunk, but I think he's just travelled from Australia. It's going to take a few games.
Jet lag is there.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit games to get settled. But yes, they should get in. If Iftikhar is on the bench, they should utilize him in the middle order.
Yeah, their selection of foreign players is something not that shabby with other teams as well. Karachi probably needed one or two flamboyant players in their squad as well.
Yeah, they're depending, actually, they're too much depending on Babar Azam to score every time, and that's not going to happen every time. So once he gets out, everyone is looking around to each other that who's going to score now. So that's the worry with the Karachi Kings. That's why I say that they need to have strong middle order to bat with Babar Azam.
Somebody who can bat through.
Yeah, Babar can do it, but then again, if there is no one with him to bat in the middle orders, they've tried Bopara, they've tried Sikandar Raza is there, but they're not that quality batsman who can take the game away from the opponent.
Right, now we've been joined from Islamabad by another live caller. We have Mr. Rao Furqan. Rao, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm very well. Okay, Rao, so who are you rooting for here in PSL? Which team is the one that you're going to be supporting this season?
I am supporting Zalmi.
Why Zalmi? Let's be frank. Why Zalmi? Is it because of Darren Sami Shinwari or something else?
No, not for Shinwari, it's for Sami.
Right. That's what I call him. That's his complete name now. So what question would you like to bring up to me and Ali Yunus in studio?
What do you ask?
I'm saying what question would you like to ask Ali Yunus in studio as the expert?
Sir, just tell me about who is going to win the PSL in your...
Too early to call, but then again you're asking for our predictions. Anyways, thank you so much, Rao Furqan, calling from Islamabad. Right, who's going to win the PSL?
I think looking at Peshawar Zalmi today, I think they have a great chance of winning PSL. If the team stays same and they travel to Pakistan, I think they have a great chance.
You're putting your career on the line here.
That's how it is.
Definitely Peshawar is that one strong team, and we were talking about Quetta on the other end as well, and these are two teams whose consistency is, I think, what would take them through to the PSL as well. Modern day T20 cricket is now evolving as well. I know T20 was an evolution of cricket, but now even that is evolving. And now that's why we're saying that teams that talk about Pakistan, they won about 10 series in a row. So this consistency really helps these players and teams as well.
Definitely, it is about consistency. You need results. You need positive results for your country or whatever the team you're playing for. So, but that is how the game has changed. Initially, when T20 came, it was all those pontings playing the regular cricket, but it's not that anymore. You need to learn the art of reverse swing and reverse sweeps and switch hits and the telescopes sort of shots. Unless you're doing that, it's get very difficult to score runs now.
And this is one thing which we can say, that at the same time we need to, the rotation of strikes, the importance of it still stays the same, because yesterday we were talking about the same thing for Multan, that they weren't rotating the strike much, and this is, I think, what's troubling Karachi right now.
Yeah, that's what happened. I mean, Babar Azam, look at the run out that Babar Azam, he was in a hurry to take that single, but not realizing the ball was not that far. So it was not never was a single there, and somebody like Babar Azam, the team relies on, he should have been a little more careful there.
Well, it's quite interesting, the PSL coming to Sharjah, because it's positioning in the area of that particular zone as well. We've had a huge crowd, and of course the capacity isn't that much compared to Dubai or UAE or Abu Dhabi for that fact. But it's wonderful to see the jam-packed crowd going crazy for cricket.
Especially, we're going to get a lot of Peshawar Zalmi fans there. And tomorrow when Shahid Afridi plays, you're going to see the same atmosphere there, because the team Peshawar Zalmi and Afridi has a huge fan following there in Sharjah. Not much in Dubai, but in Sharjah definitely yes. So it's very good. The crowd, the stadium should be full. That's good for cricket and good for PSL also.
But at the same time, what do you think about the fact that we keep on rotating it to about 5 venues now, 3 in the UAE, 2 back? Is it good for the product of the PSL as well?
Well, not quite, but that's what we have right now. Until we get all of the PSL back to Pakistan, I think this is how it is going to stay. And the wicket. I'm disappointed. I'm a little disappointed by the wickets they're making. Abu Dhabi ones. They should be batting supported wickets. And so the crowd is there on even the viewers. They're there to see the big hits, the sixes and fours and big runs, big 200s, and getting chased. That sort of a cricket. But that's not happening. It's not the good T20 wickets.
But this is the maybe fact that why we're lacking that six-hitting ability in our domestic or international circuit as well, because the confidence for a batsman to hit over the line isn't just there anymore because of these things.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the fitness also. You need to have a powerful back, and your thighs should be very strong to hit straight. If you see mostly our batsmen, they try to hit mid wicket and square leg because it's easier there. But once they need to learn the art of hitting over the point and in the straight areas. That's not happening because the fitness level is not up to the international level of our local boys.
West Indies do it very well. We saw last night, obviously, balls being smacked over point for 6 and 4s as well. Yeah. Tonight we were also seeing Darren Sammy. He was absolutely sure where he's going to hit.
Exactly. That's the power of fitness. That he knows, he has this confidence that if there is a half hit, it's going to go for 6 because of the power he has behind the shot. So yeah, I think the fitness is the key.
And once again, going back to the match as well, we're talking about Karachi's prospects not looking so good as well. The live match is still underway. There we see obviously a bowling chart as well. That is superb. Look at the good length deliveries, Ali. That means somebody's been doing their homework and they've been bowling in the perfect areas.
Yeah, that's. I think that is the key on such wickets. You cannot bowl full because you will get smacked all over. With this pace, I think this is the perfect line there.
Yeah, and that is of course for Umair Asif's bowling. He's got 1 for 16, and I think his bowling is still underway. Yes, it is. That's superbly fielded. Of course, I think that was Hassan Ali. 21 balls, about 63 runs required. Something not we can hope for right now.
Well, yeah, I think it's pretty much over. Now all they can do is score maximum runs to maybe get that run rate up a little bit, because I think the type of teams we have, it's going to come down to run rates at the end.
We always talk about these big names coming to the PSL. We just saw, and there's the record for Sharjah, 236 ODIs hosted at one venue. That's why it is so special, and that's why we call it the home of cricket as well. Sharjah's there. Rizwan, Imad Wasim at the crease as well. I was talking about the fact that when you've got all of these foreign players, like this season we've got AB. Sammy's been a world champion for T20 cricket for the West Indies twice. And the good thing to note about here was, as Umaid was walking back, Pollard had a word with him as well. The experience and the knowledge they're getting from these players who play T20 leagues all over the world is obviously, I think, one of the best parts of PSL.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. But I would like to know that the boys, the local boys, they should learn the work ethics from these international players. How they travel, how they behave, how they train. Not just skill level, not in the ground, even outside the ground.
Personality development.
Exactly. That's a great opportunity for somebody, for a youngster to learn that how they behave even in the restaurants, how they behave with the crowd, with their fans. I think that is a great opportunity. I would like to know that they're learning these things from them.
Obviously, that is something you need to carry when you're a star now, and all of these PSL players are definitely stars now. Now we've been joined on telephone line, another live caller. We've got Foster from Rawalpindi. Foster, Assalamu Alaikum and welcome. I'm going to ask you straight away, which is your favorite team for PSL?
Peshawar Zalmitas.
Right, why Peshawar? Let's talk about who's your favorite player in Peshawar. Is it going to be the captain, Darren Sammy, or do you like Hassan Ali as a fast bowler?
I'm always interested in fast bowlers.
Right, always interested in fast bowlers. Thank you so much for that, superb thing. I'm one who loves fast bowling as well. I'm guessing Ali definitely does, considering his background as well. Obviously, so what is going to be your question this evening for me and for Ali to answer?
Well, the question is, I just wanted to ask that what do you think that which team is going to win?
Right, Foster, we're going to try and get that answer as well. Thank you so much for calling on the review as well. A lot of people want to know who's going to win. It's like we're gurus here, or probably
they should be a little patient because it's too early. Just 3 games everyone has played. Probably by tomorrow, day after tomorrow, things will be a little clearer when other teams play also.
Or that the fact that they're done with Islamabad winning 2 seasons. I don't want to say this to you, obviously.
No, Islamabad. I think Islamabad will struggle. I'm not looking Islamabad going to win, but it has to be between the race is between Quetta Gladiators and Peshawar Zalmi. But then again, the thread always stays the Shane Watson. If he doesn't travel to Pakistan, they're gonna mess up with the combination, and that's the trouble. That's where the trouble is always.
And I think Javed Afridi's been superb in actually presenting Zalmi as a brand as well. I know all of the teams have done, but you know, the way he got Sammy in that kit launch and anthem launch ceremony. Then he's been engaging these players in different platforms as well. He did a Zalmi League in the tribal areas as well. So I think he's actually, and getting them to Peshawar, because they own the team, the people from the city, you're bound to have all of these players traveling.
Of course, Peshawar Zalmi has, I think, the biggest fan following in all these teams, and people love them. People love Darren Sammy. They love Javed Afridi is almost a star also, so they love him too, and rightly so. He's done a lot for the people of Peshawar, and he's done a lot in cricket. He's inaugurated the league also. So yes, I think, and they play with very good energy. That's if you see, it's a fun watching Peshawar Zalmi in the field also. They're running here and there, and everybody's talking to each other. There are no mess up. There are fast bowlers bowling, and it's all exciting about everything. Exciting about
it. As a unit very well.
That's the credit goes to Darren Sammy, because he's here. No foreign player would travel to Pakistan, but he was traveling all alone, going to everything with taking pictures and
on the motorway.
Yeah, on the motorway, and that's what makes a star, I think.
Because you mentioned Islamabad, this season, technically being from Islamabad, I was a touch disappointed because their campaigning, getting to people, reaching out to the fans in the host city as well, wasn't that much. Something definitely went a little step back. I don't know what.
What I think is that initially in the past 3 PSLs, they were all young. The Shadab and Fahim Ashraf, Asif Ali, they were all young and wanted to perform under Domini and the wicketkeeper Ranchi.
Luke Ranchi.
So now they have become stars. Now they have come to that role where they have to win and they have to take it on themselves. And probably that's where they are struggling. Asif Ali and Fahim Ashraf and Hussain Tala, they've all got the talent, but it's all about taking the ownership and taking the responsibility. I think this is the right time for them to step up and win the games for
Dean
Islam.
Does look like a tough coach to please. Obviously, I see his expressions in the dugout as well. He looks like a hard
he's a nice, sweet man, but then again, nobody likes to lose, and he shows it on the camera like Mickey Arthur does. He's the same sort of a character like him.
Well, he's the only coach who's possessing a professional attire. He's presenting himself as a football manager these days with those ties on as well. But back to the game once again. Karachi's struggles still continue. I think after they lost from Lahore, their luck hasn't changed since then. Now 15 deliveries, 54 runs required. That too looking very, very impossible. And in fact, I say this because then I see Rizwan at the crease as well, and Wahab now coming obviously from a slingy action once again and to square leg for 1. Rizwan, I want to talk about him. I know he's a backup keeper for the national side as well, but he's not someone who you see as a limited overs player. He might use it in Test cricket. Just doesn't has that ability to get the ball over the line.
You're being very generous by saying that he's good for Test match cricket, and I don't see that happening also. But the thing is, we don't have any other option. We don't have a wicket-keeper batsman.
We didn't groom one.
Yeah, we didn't groom one. He's the only one that we have groomed. And I wonder that what talent was we were thinking when grooming, and probably we would have groomed somebody else, somebody like Adnan Akmal. Is a better keeper at least, and he had good potential with bat too, but that didn't happen. So we're going to struggle with keeper batsman once Sarfraz goes.
And obviously, before we discuss more on this, once again, to highlight your live call is the part of tonight's review as well. We're going to be taking your questions, taking your expert analysis, asking you who's your favorite team And now, for now, we're going to ask you who's going to win the PSL, not us anymore, right? It's time for you to answer that question. Who do you think is going to win the PSL? Dial these numbers on your screens now. You can also reach out to us on social media. We're streaming live on YouTube at PTV World's channel, and we also have our Twitter handle @WorldPTV, and of course we've got our Facebook page with the name of PTV World. All of these platforms you could just tweak in, put in your question and tell us who do you think is going to win the PSL. This is something very serious, because last night we had an option that we never groomed a captain. That was our discussion. Imad Wasim is one that is being groomed for now, but we don't know what happens if Sarfaraz leaves. The same question now, we haven't been grooming any wicketkeeper. And spinner at the same time was an option when Hafiz got banned with his action. Saeed Ajmal went. This is something they want to work with the PSL, but so far we haven't seen, for me, I know you're the expert, but I haven't seen any wicketkeeper I could depend on right now in the past season of PSLs.
Yeah, nor can I. I haven't seen any good wicketkeeper batsman who can score runs and keep well also. We have part-time wicketkeepers who can part-time wicketkeeper and by like somebody like Umar Akmal is there, but not genuine wicketkeeper who can bat also. So that's why Sarfraz is there. Probably if there was somebody good on his back, he would have been struggling himself too.
Yeah, and he's tried his level best to maintain his position.
Well, that's very, very sad on Pakistan ends, that we never groom people. Once we are in power, once we are there as a captain, we don't let anyone come and play. We don't want to sit out of the match, because we never know we're going to come back or not.
Well, we've got another live caller. We've got Mr. Ahmed Butt from Lahore. Mr. Butt, Assalamu Alaikum. Welcome to the review.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Right, Mr. Butt.
Great show, guys.
Thank you so much. You know, that's how we keep on going with your energy. Right, you're from Lahore, so does that mean you're going to be backing the Qalandars, or do you have any other favorite team?
Definitely Qalandars, no doubt.
So I loved your win against Karachi. I thought I was rooting for Lahore in that game. I loved how you dismantled Karachi and destroyed them. But the game afterwards with Zalmi was of a concern. What do you think went wrong there?
I'm sorry, I really didn't see the match. I was traveling the whole way from Samba to Lahore. So I was just hoping to see the score before talking to you. The thing I was really concerned about is, after Hafiz got injured, Salman Butt came into the bat. I was just hoping, I want to hear from Ali. What do you think that this change is going to bring for the Lahore Qalandars?
Right, we'll definitely ask him. And do you think Lahore still can pull it back and take it to the final of the PSL this season?
We do hope. We really pray. We do hope.
And what is the fever like in Lahore? I want to ask this because the PSL is going to come to Lahore and we're going to have 3 games there. So are you guys excited?
Yes, we are definitely super excited.
Right, thank you so much, Ahmed, for calling in the review. And definitely, I'm one of those people who really want Lahore to achieve that, that goal as well. Right, I think it's a good question. Salman Butt as a replacement for Mohammad Hafiz. I know he's got some cricket behind him. He's got the experience as well. But it's a little mysterious. Maybe you could have had a local talent as well.
Well, to be very honest, I've always been against bringing Butt back to the team. I think it doesn't deserve the place in the side. Somebody new, somebody was performed in the local T20 tournament. Somebody like Abid Ali, she should have been picked, or somebody like Razali Dar, somebody who's been performing for so many years in the domestic level. It's so unfair to them. They're not picking up them and picking up somebody who's been banned, who's put the bad name to the cricket, and bringing him back. So I'm not in favor of bringing him back. No.
Right, we're going to talk about Salman Butt more, but it's time now to give you the recap of the top scorers and the top bowlers for the first innings of this game as well. And there we see Imam ul Haq, criticized all over the country, but he's definitely answering with his bat. He scored 56 runs, consuming 43 deliveries with 5 fours and 1 6 over the rope, and he managed to shut all his critics once again. Liam Dawson, the left-handed all-rounder, 43 runs of 33 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. I think he was the change in Peshawar that they got through with a handsome total. Of course, Imam giving them the platform and Dawson ending it superbly. Sikandar Raza from Zimbabwe bowled 4 overs, 23 runs, 2 wickets, and that too he's a bowler who doesn't bowl that much often, but he got those wickets bowling wicket to wicket. And in the interview after that, he also mentioned that he was getting some help from the wicket as well, and that's how he got those 2 scalps that he took. Usman Khan Shinwari finally getting on the wickets table, not just the runs as well. 4 overs, 36 runs and 2 wickets is what he grabbed as well. Before we move on to Usman Shinwari, now that he is there, Salman Butt, he is there now, and he's definitely going to be opening the batting. Does this change some prospects because Fakhr is going to be there with him opening?
Of course, he's always been a good, solid batsman. He will be useful for Lahore Qalandars. I might see. I have this prediction that he might be captaining later once AB de Villiers. De Villiers goes back, and because Lahore Qalandars will have no other option, Fakhr or Salman Butt maybe. So yeah, that's what I'm predicting. That I'm seeing.
But they are hopeful AB's going to come to Lahore. I think they're rooting for him to come.
Yeah, they should bring him. That would be so exciting for Lahore people and Karachiites that AB de Villiers, they can see AB de Villiers come and play in front of them.
And now we were discussing the fact about Usman Shinwari as well. I thought he was good in the Big Bash League, but then again, he's somebody who's very one-dimensional. As a fast bowler, I can definitely say this, that he just goes on about pace, and because in modern day cricket you can't survive with just pace. You need those cutters, you need those knuckle balls as well, and this is, I think, something going against him.
I think BP playing in Big Bash League has drained him a little, because he was very rusty playing for Pakistan also, and now even if you see this in PSL also, he's very rusty. He doesn't have any variation, no back of the ball, no knuckle ball also, and these 2 wickets, I call them the garbage wickets. Any wickets that are taken in the last over when the batsman is trying to do they don't matter to me. Of course, you need to get the top order batsman out. If you're a premium fast bowler of Pakistan and your franchise, you need to get those top order batsmen like Wahab and Hassan Ali does. They put on that early pressure where team doesn't come back from there.
What makes him so special for Pakistan? I think he's always part of the selection. Is that Mickey likes him very much? Something.
That's one reason. He's energetic. He bowls quick, but not on such wickets. I think not in T20 even. He's a good one-day bowler, I would say. But T20 without variations, you're struggling anyways. With this page 135 to 40. Otherwise, you have to bowl over 145 to be effective in T20 cricket. If you're not bowling 145, 140, you will struggle.
And the routine is very important. I think some of these fast bowlers, traditional fast bowlers, aren't there anymore. The new guys who are coming up, I think they're missing the key element, and that's their diet.
That has always been there, but I think diet, it does matter, but when you're young, when you're at the early stage of your cricket, but now his muscles have developed. Now that's not much of a difference. But the only thing that I think is that he's bowling too fast. He's thinking too hard and trying.
And he's injury prone as well.
Yes, and then again, the T20 such wickets without variation, you're struggling.
And every time. Sikandar Raza picking up 2 wickets just tells us how miserable Karachi's bowling was today.
Yes, that's definitely, and the ball was turning. And that's the way that it went wrong for Karachi. They should have taken that review, knowing that Imad didn't trust his bowler and his wicketkeeper. They both were saying that he should have taken the review, and but I think Imad was not sure if the ball is turning, because he himself doesn't turn much of the ball, and he realized that nobody will turn. So, but that ball did turn, and that was plumb out, and the way where the things went wrong for Karachi.
I think this is one job, trusting your bowler in a review, that Sarfaraz does too much. Because even last night we saw him taking a review that was down the leg side on Irfan Junior's bowling.
See, as a captain, you got to take these chances. You got to be a little shrewd captain. You got to slow down the game a little bit, take these little chances. You never know. If Imam got out at that moment, the game would have been finished by now. But he didn't take that chance, and that went against them.
Right, back to the game once again. We know that Karachi is still struggling. The game is going to be done and dusted. And of course, after being set a target of 154 runs, there you see Hassan Ali enjoy. I don't want to call where he went, but but then again, only Wahab was the one I think you could have got it. And there you see HBL PSL 2019 now. Hassan Ali is now leading the bowlers charts. Now he's taken 9 wickets so far, and of course just 5 deliveries, and there's another wicket for Karan Pollard now. 19.2 overs, another wicket gone, and once again we see the game is almost done and dusted. It's about 4 deliveries now. But Hassan Ali, good to see, because it's very important. We've been stressing the fact that he's played so much of cricket, he's looked rusty. But wickets behind him is really going to help our prospects in the World Cup.
Definitely, but he looks a different bowler when coming to T20 cricket and PSL. He's so all energetic, bowling with the good rhythm. I think we should use him very carefully. We shouldn't be playing all of the cricket to Hasan Ali. We should be very careful playing him in Test match cricket.
He was dragged in Test cricket.
Yes, definitely. That was not a good decision. You have other bowlers. You have a good bench strength. You can always utilize them. And I think he should have told them himself that you might not play me in Test match cricket. But then again, it's Pakistan. The insecurity stays there.
Next year you're not.
Look what happened with Nanak Mal. He just went out with finger injury and never came back. So that's the insecurities that stays in the cricket.
So Maksud was one of them. Went away with a wrist injury, never came back.
So and then the half fit players also play because they're insecure. That's a sad part of our cricket culture.
The other thing we need to figure out now as a cricketing nation is that I think the world is moving towards recognizing players for different formats. I always bring this up. Some people don't agree with me for this. I don't talk about just the captains, I talk about the players as well. Everywhere in the world we're seeing 3 different captains for 3 different formats, and of course different players as well, or 2 captains for T20 and obviously the same for one day and then another one for Test cricket. We're a nation who just and the cricket board as well just don't seem to trust this notion.
Look, in Pakistan, it's going to be very tough because 3 captains. People are tough. People are difficult with 1 captain, and listening to 3 different captains would mess their mind up, and it won't be a good thing to follow Pakistan cricket. I think the captaincy is fine. We're happy with 1 captain, but yes, players, we need to have specialists for T20 cricket, which we are, but there are not much talent that I see that could come up in T20 cricket.
But it's probably for the players to figure out themselves. For a guy like Azhar Ali mentioned that he just wants to play Test cricket. I think Mohammad Amir's got to be really sure. He's in the twilight, he's in his later ages now. He's got to figure out, okay, I want to play selective cricket. Like you mentioned, Hasan Ali, Shadab as well. So they've got to be smart enough to understand this as well.
Then again, the insecurity has to go. They need to, either the cricket board, they need to tell them, fine, you're here, you're going to play, don't worry, we're not going to throw you away, we're not going to bring someone else instead of you, you're here.
I think Fakhar Zaman is a prime example of eliminating that insecurity now.
Yes, that's there, but fast bowlers, it's different because we have so many fast bowlers coming behind. Nobody wants to lose their position because the bench strength is very strong. With Fakhar, we don't have much bench strength as an opener. We don't have many options in opening slot. But as a fast bowler, yes, definitely I see the insecurity is still there. Nobody wants to sit himself until forced to sit.
And just 1 delivery now remaining in the course of victory for Peshawar Zalmi against Karachi Kings. Karachi are 108 for 9. And they're still 46 runs short, and they were chasing a target of 154. Rizwan managed to get some runs and still stay at the crease at the same time. So in local cricket we do call it that he's taken his body. He's done it. His job is done and dusted. He's enjoyed his cricket tonight, and he's played the whole quarter of his overs because obviously he kept for 20 overs as well. So he can go home happy and consider himself safe for the next game. But definitely things to think about Karachi. And there we go, the last delivery, smack towards square leg just for 1 run, and that means that Peshawar Zalmi have beaten Karachi Kings by a good enough margin of about 45 runs, and they have taken the game once again. There you see Hasan Ali gelling with the crowd as well. Of course, he's now the leading wicket taker in the HBL PSL with 9 wickets behind him in just a couple of games. And I think this is not just great for Peshawar, not just great for Hasan Ali, but great for Pakistan cricket that you're seeing Hasan Ali in form. Worrying signs, of course, Mickey Arthur, a very emotional character, but for Wasim Akram at the same time. The bowlers weren't there tonight.
Absolutely, and it's a big loss, not just 5 or 10 runs. It's a 46 runs loss, and it's going to hurt their run rate at the end of the tournament. You see, because it's going to be very marginal differences between a couple of teams at the end of the tournament, and they shouldn't have lost by 46 runs. They should have maybe fought a little bit more.
But considering the bowling that Peshawar has, I definitely think teams should prefer batting first against them, because if you put them to defend a total, they're absolutely spot on.
Lahore Qalandar tried and got out on 79. So you're never sure. The only thing is that you get them out early, maybe 120, 125, and then you can chase it down. But once they go past 140 and 145, it's going to be very tough for the teams to.
But you're based in Lahore,
yeah,
right? So how do you lift this curse now?
Well, it's really used to it. It's the fourth PSL. We've been doing the same. We've been bearing the same and the same sort of performances ever. But year on year we had the same disappointing performances. So being a Lahori fan, we're used to it.
Yeah, get a big heart.
Yeah, a good win would be something different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think the one against Karachi was enough for the entire PSL.
Yes, we were happy with that.
That was competitive enough. But that's all we have time for this edition of the review. Obviously, we're going to catch you in the next game as well. Of course, PSL continues in Sharjah, and we're going to see you in that night and in the PSL review. Once again, from me, the entire team, and of course from Ali Yunus as well. That's all we have time for. Thank you. Bye-bye.